Hi, I'm Dédé Wilson of Bakepedia.com, and I'm going to show you how to make a flourless chocolate cake. It is so easy, it is so delicious, and it just uses 3 ingredients: chocolate, butter, and eggs. So let's get to it. The eggs, these are large eggs, and as you can see, they're in water. I've put them in warm water. That's going to warm them up, and that way, when I put them into the mixer, they're just going to whip up to maximum volume. So we're going to get that going. So you could certainly take the eggs out. They can be sitting at room temp, but warming them up really gives them maximum volume. The recipe is on the site, so I'm just really doing the video for technique, but you can count along with me. This is 6 eggs, and because it's such an easy recipe, it's easy to remember. It's 6 eggs, 1 pound of chocolate, and ½ a pound of butter. So I've got my 6 eggs in here. I'm going to whip that up to full volume, and meanwhile I have my 1 pound of semi-sweet or bittersweet chocolate. This chocolate is about 60%, and ½ a pound of unsalted butter. I'm going to melt this in the microwave while those are whipping up, and then we'll come back and put it all together. I melted the chocolate and butter together in the microwave, and we're done. You could, of course, do this in the top of a double boiler if you like, but it's a perfect time, I think, to use a microwave. Our eggs are also done. Now, I want you to see the texture because, you know, with 3 ingredients here, it's important that we get each one right. The eggs, look at the color. You can even tell from the outside of the bowl. They've lightened, they've whipped up, they've tripled in volume. Look at this texture. Beautiful. Look at this. Thick, thick, thick. This is what we want. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to combine all of this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a little bit of the egg mixture into the butter and chocolate. Now I let this cool a little. The butter and chocolate is not hot. It is melted, but it's not hot. I'm going to use a folding action, but use a whisk. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the whisk helps retain volume, the volume of the eggs. You beat all that beautiful volume into the eggs. We want to keep the volume. There we go. A little more. Do it in about 3 batches, and then you can switch to a large rubber spatula. I never know whether to call these silicone spatulas or rubber spatulas. Rubber spatulas is what they've always been called. These days, most of them are made out of silicone, but no matter. You know the tool I'm recommending. There we go. Get all of this. Now, this cake is so forgiving that you can actually, put the chocolate into the eggs, you can put the eggs into the chocolate. I did it this way to show you because this is a wider surface. It's easier for you to see on the video. So I'm going to switch to the whisk, and I'm actually going to do a whisking action until it comes together. Oh, there we go. Look at that. See that dark streak of chocolate coming up? It is coming together beautifully. That's what you want. And this is done. So this will come together in the time it takes for your oven to preheat. Now, prepping your pan. This is for an 8-inch pan, and what I'm going to do is coat it sides and bottom with nonstick spray. I have a parchment circle that I've cut that will fit in the bottom. Spritz the parchment a little bit. And now, we're just going to get this batter. A few streaks of the egg remaining is fine. Okay, let's see. We're going to get this all in here. Now, so far, pretty easy, right? Whip the eggs until they're thick. Warmed eggs will come up to volume more easily. Melt your chocolate and butter together, either in the microwave or the top of a double boiler, and then combine. Now, the real trick with this cake is telling when it's done. So I will make sure to show you that. We are going to bake it in a water bath. I happen to have a larger size cake pan. I'm going to put my 8-inch into this 10-inch. I'm going to fill it with hot water halfway up. You could use a roasting pan. You just want the water to come halfway up the sides of this pan. We're going to bake this at 375 for about 15 minutes until it's done. And we're not using a toothpick test. I'll show you when it's done. So I'm going to go add water and put it in the oven. The cake is done. I've taken it out of the water bath, and this is the most complicated part of the recipe, how to tell when it's done. Now look at this. Look how wet that is. It's like a warmed over pudding. This is why sticking a toothpick in it to see whether it's done will not work. It'll come out with a whole bunch of chocolatey batter sticking. So I want you to watch the sides of the pan. When you want to look for a dulled appearance on the top, you can see it's a little dull, and then when you tilt it slightly, see how the edge comes away from the side of the pan? That's it. Trust me, this is going to firm up overnight in the refrigerator. We're going to be able to unmold it, and we're going to have a delicious flourless chocolate cake. So pay attention to these visual cues. You use the time cues in this recipe. The recipe is at bakepedia.com. Use the time cues and use these visual cues. That's what you're looking for. I'm going to go put this in the refrigerator, and after it's firmed up, I'll show you how to unmold it. So this cake has refrigerated overnight. Look how firm it is. You can bake it, you can refrigerate it up to 3 days before you unmold it. I like to refrigerate overnight. You can also hasten it by 4 to 6 hours in the freezer. What you want to make sure is that it is firm, firm, firm. Now look at this. How are we going to get it out of here? Another trick. Bowl of warm water. I'm going to submerge this in the warm water to help loosen it. Now usually I do this at the sink. I turn it upside down and I let the water run on the bottom of the pan. But for these purposes, I'm going to use a little hot water. If you twist it, it helps break the seal that the cake has against the side of the pan. Take your icing spatula, pressing out towards the pan, not in towards the cake. Then 8-inch pan, 8-inch cardboard round. Let's see if I got lucky. Oh, there we go. Look how easily that unmolded. So now you know a trick for unmolding. Oh, now the parchment, sometimes it sticks to the pan, sometimes it sticks to the cake. This time it's already off the cake for me. Now look how beautiful that was. We baked this in a water bath, but we didn't use a springform pan, so we didn't have to worry about the water coming into the springform pan. And there you go, a flourless chocolate cake, incredibly rich. You can glaze it, you can serve it as is, just served really little slices with a little bit of a lightly sweetened whipped cream and a few raspberries, and you are going to wow your friends at your next dinner party. Super simple, flourless chocolate cake. The recipe is on the site, bakepedia.com.